What's up, my friends? Happy Wednesday. It's a beautiful day. I'm glad you're here. I'm stoked to be reading another book with you. I'm really amped for this one today. It's such a good book. It's so beautiful. I just finished reading it to my boyfriend's baby brother, who we're visiting in Irvine right now. And I knew right away I wanted to make a video for y'all. So this is an incredible story. I had never heard of this before I was loaned this book from my friend Dan, who knows me and said, you know, you're gonna really like this story because, you know, it's an important message, but it's also extremely relevant to what's happening in the world right now. We're gonna touch on self-care and healing from trauma, overcoming fears, and I think a lot of it too, I've kind of interpreted as how we experience growth and how that can be very uncomfortable, but it's important. So we're gonna be reading After the Fall, which is the sequel to Humpty Dumpty's amazing story. But I think we learn a lot more about Humpty Dumpty in this, and I'm just really digging this story. I'm really glad to read it with you. So this is After the Fall, and it's how Humpty Dumpty got back up, right? He fell, we all know the story, but what happened after? And I just really like this interpretation. So this is by Dan Santat. I think that's how maybe I say his name. He's the author and the illustrator. And this won a Caldecott medal, which honestly, until today, guys, I didn't know what that was. But my boyfriend's baby brother's mom told me that this is like the cream of the crop kind of, you know, if you get a medal from Caldecott, it's legit. So we know this book's gonna be real good. All right, so this is called After the Fall. Let's learn, shall we? Yeah, we shall. All right. My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, high up on the wall. I know it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being so close to the birds. Then, one day, I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. Folks call it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. So, we all, again, know the story. If you don't, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. So he fell off and he was an egg. And he cracked and all the king's men put him back together. Bada boom, bada bing, right? No, because obviously there's something that's happening after all this, all right? Life goes on. So what does it look like for Humpty Dumpty? Let's see. Fortunately, all the king's men managed to put me back together. Okay, that's cool. That was done at the hospital, right? It's all back together. Well, most of me. There were some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. All right, so if you notice, we're in Humpty's room right here, and there's all these pictures of birds because he likes to be up high with them. And where is he sleeping? On the ground, right? After that day, I became afraid of heights. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. All right. So here's our friend. He experienced something traumatic and it instilled fears in him that weren't there before. So because he fell off that wall, now he's a little afraid of heights. Totally normal, okay? That's a really hard thing to experience, and it's very normal that fears happen because of that trauma, all right? And so there he is, not having all the fun cereals at top. He's only reaching for those ones on the bottom. Right? It's one of the many things that's happening. I walked past the wall every day, and I would think about climbing that ladder again. I really missed the birds and being high above the city, but I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. So because he had that one really bad fall, it prevented him from trying it again. He knew, I could fall again. I don't want that to happen, so I'm gonna avoid that. Right? It's hard. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. Then, one day, an idea flew by. Now, if you notice, boop, idea. I love ideas. Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches, but day after day, I kept trying and trying. Keyword, trying, right? That's what you gotta do. If you're gonna do anything at all, there's gonna be some mistakes that are made. We're not always gonna get it right the first time. It's not gonna be easy, but you keep trying until you get it right. Right? So he kept trying until he got it just right. And oh my Lanta, look at this gorgeous airplane that he made. Looks just like a bird. So beautiful. How exciting. My plane was perfect, and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. So he's having so much fun playing with his little airplane bird. La-da-da. Again, he's missing that experience, but he still has reservations, right? He's still kind of holding back because he doesn't want to get hurt, and that's totally understandable. Unfortunately, accidents happen. Uh-oh. What do you guys think happened? Uh-oh. I had a good prediction when I got to this part. They always do. Meaning accidents always happen. Of course. Where is his airplane going? Yeah, you guessed it. It's going over the wall. Right? He's gonna have to do something, isn't he? Because his airplane just went over the wall. I almost walked away again. But then I thought about all the time I'd spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. Okay, but think about this. He suffered something really traumatic from this wall, so he's avoided it. Now he's coming back and he's decided to make the incredibly brave decision to try again and try climbing it. Is he feeling nervous? Absolutely. Is he scared? Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah, you know it, right? Because again, that's a really hard thing to do. That was not comfortable. It was not an easy choice, but he's doing it. I didn't look up. I didn't look down. I just kept climbing, one step at a time. Now, my mom can attest to this. She uses this phrase all the time. She says, when you want to eat an elephant, okay, I know, super random, but if you're gonna eat an elephant, how do you do it? And she always says, one bite at a time, which is super weird and it's so random. Why use an elephant? But it makes sense. If you're going to tackle something really giant and really important and really big, one step at a time, one bite at a time, one move at a time, go at your own pace, right? And eventually it won't look as scary or daunting or intimidating. So one move at a time. Until I was no longer afraid. I love this part because look at that joyous, wonderful face. That is success right there, right? That is a wonderful form of success. You have overcome an amazing fear. You have overcome a very daunting and terrifying task. And here you are feeling all of that amazingness because you did it. And that was really hard. It was not easy. He also did it on his own, which is like amazing. Okay, let's just point that out. Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. But hopefully you'll remember me as the egg who got back up. And that is so epic. Look at what is happening. Okay, this part really got me. I was like, wait a second. Why are there feathers coming out of his egg? Okay, oh my goodness. He is hatching. This is so symbolic of just so much realness. Exactly what I had said, right? So he didn't want to be known as the person that fell or the egg that fell, but the person who got back up. And that's what we should all be known for, is how we overcame. You know, what did we do to all right, so I just got cut off, but it's okay. I'm running out of storage on my phone all the time. Anywho, isn't that amazing? Okay, again, overcame so much. It wasn't easy. It was a crazy ride, but he grew and he spread his wings and he learned to fly again. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. I just love that story so much. So that's why I wanted to read it with y'all, okay? Because the conversation I had with my friend today was a lot about this, and it was how when we grow and we learn new things, it can be really uncomfortable because sometimes it requires stepping outside of our comfort zone, or, which is super relevant to right now, but admitting when we are wrong. Not that that happened in this case at all, but it just made me think about it, okay? Because it's okay to learn new things. It's okay to change your opinion. It's okay to be afraid of something and then later learning more about it and not being afraid of it anymore. Like, this is all really important for growth, guys. So I got cut out again. That's okay. All right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this reading of After the Fall, the sequel to Humpty Dumpty's amazing story. I hope it inspired you to remember that anything you're going through, you can overcome. It's not going to be easy, but you can do it. You can do hard things. We believe in you, and you might just learn how to fly again. Anyway, okay, I love you. I'm gonna go eat some pizza because it just got here and I'm super stoked. Have an amazing rest of your day. I love you. You are amazing. You matter. I appreciate you. Go spread those wings, baby.